Hello, I'm Dr. Olga Oliver, and today I want to talk to you about something very sad but very important, which is when we have to euthanize or put to sleep our pet and we have children at home. I want to give you some advice from my personal and professional point of view so our children will understand this process a little bit better. These days, our pets are one more member of our family. They have a very special connection with our children. They oftentimes sleep with them, they spend a lot of time with us, and they are the first thing our children see when they come back from school. Many times my clients have asked me if they should or they could bring their children on the day they have to put their pet to sleep. I always believe that I prefer for my children to keep the good memories of their pet and not have to remember the moment and time when we had to put them to sleep. Even if it's done with love and avoiding pain, this can be a very traumatic last memory. Last week we have to euthanize our 16-year-old dachshund. Her name was Sophia. We brought Sophia home when my oldest son was 5 years old, and she was 2 when we had my second child. I diagnosed her with chronic kidney failure at age 16, and her health was deteriorating very quickly. I had several occasions where I could speak to my children and explain to them that since Sophia had a non-reversible illness, there was going to be a time where she was going to be in pain and suffering, and we were going to have to make a final decision. My children told me in every occasion that they understood, but they didn't want to talk about it. I thought that with these conversations, I had prepared them for when the time came. One morning, right after my 13-year-old went to school, Sophia woke up with pain that I could no longer calm. At that time, I knew that that was the day I was going to have to take her to the vet clinic to put her to sleep. I thought my children will understand because I had a chance to talk to them about this time, and they knew this was coming. I took Sophia to the vet hospital I worked at. I gave her a sedative to help with the pain and to make her a little sleepy. I put an IV catheter on her leg, and I asked one of my veterinarian colleagues to give her the euthanasia solution, which is what we use to put them to sleep. It is a painless injection that goes right on the vein. So I was able to hold Sophia in my arms, and while I was kissing her forehead like she liked, I was telling her how much we loved her and that everything was going to be okay. She slowly fell to sleep forever in my arms. When my youngest son came home from school, my husband already had told him in the car that Sophia woke up with a lot of pain and we had to put her to sleep that day. When he came home, we hugged and we cried for quite some time. I thought that he understood what happened. Later that afternoon, we went for a walk and he said, Mom, tomorrow I'm going to be in shock. And I asked him, is there anything that you didn't understand? Is there anything you want me to explain? He didn't want to talk about it. I realized that something was bothering him, so I insisted and asked him. And he said, Mom, I'm very confused because I wasn't there, so I don't know what happened. Did you take her to the clinic? Did you do it? Did you stay with her? So at that point, I realized that his main concern was that Sophia was not alone and that she didn't suffer. I explained to him it's a painless injection. I took her to the vet clinic where I worked, and I was able to hold her while one of the doctors gave her the injection through the IV catheter that I gave her. And I explained to him that I held her in my arms, I kissed her, and I told her how much we all loved her. He told me later that he felt better about it now that he understood. I also explained to him that she was sent to the crematory for cremation, and I decided for them to put the ashes in a beautiful garden that they have there. My advice is that when your pet begins to get older, to talk to your children. Do not be afraid to answer any questions they have. Explain to them that when your pet is in pain and suffering, your veterinarian has a humane way of stopping the suffering with a painless injection. if you have the chance, I think it's very important for your children to say their goodbyes to their pet. Sometimes it's difficult for children to understand the term of putting to sleep. Explain to them that they are going to sleep permanently. Explain to the children what happens at the vet clinic. Explain to them that they get the painless injection while someone holds their pet. And this can be a member of the family if you choose, or a member of the vet clinic. Explain what happens after they go to sleep. Usually they get cremated, and you can get the ashes back and spread them wherever the family decides, or you can choose to have the company spread them in their memorial garden. Talk to your veterinarian about choices, cremation, burial, and other options. Before you get to your vet for this difficult and emotional appointment, try to decide if you want to be present and who is going to be present, and what you want to be done with the remains. I used to tell my clients that they will know when the time comes, but the truth is that oftentimes we don't know, and because we're never ready for this time. But my advice is evaluate the quality of life of your pet. They're not gonna cry and tell us verbally like people when they are hurting or when they're uncomfortable. So you have to look for these signs. So when they're not eating, they're not drinking, they're not jumping on the places where they used to jump, when they're not moving, when they don't want to go out, when they're having accidents. All of these are signs of pain and discomfort. Look for those signs of pain and discomfort and talk to your veterinarian so they can help you and guide you through these difficult decisions. Yeah. And I always tell my clients, you gave your pet a wonderful life. And when the time comes, as difficult as it is, this is your last gift to your pet, so they don't have to be in pain and suffer. If this video was helpful, subscribe and follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Animal Doctor Videos.